welcome. Let's try to solve another Leetcode problem 2719, count of integers. So for this problem, we are given two numeric string, number 1 and number 2, and two integers, max sum and min sum. So we don't need an integer x to be good if x is between number 1 to number 2, both inclusive, and the digit sum of x. So what is the digit sum? So for example, the digit sum of this x, if x equal to 12, the digit sum is going to be 3. It's going to be between the min sum and max sum. It seems really easy to understand. And the final return going to be a good integer, going to be modular this number. And the digit sum denotes the sum of the digits of x. It seems it's really easy to understand, but the obvious idea is just to use the brute force. As we can see, this number is really big, so definitely the brute force didn't work. Normally, if we are reading some problem, it is called the number of integers or something, definitely it's going to be a digit dp. If we're going to solve a problem which is a digit dp, normally it's going to be really hard. So the easiest way is to use a template. The template is not just let us to remember something. We are not remember any kind of the code. We just remember a pattern, a solution to solve the problem. That is why we're gonna use a template, because it's gonna make the problem really easy to think about. So this pattern, if we are having this kind of a pattern, definitely we know how to write the code. It's not just about remember each line of the code. It's just tell us how to understand the problem, how to use a tool, which is a template to solve the problem. You know, if you solve 100 digit dp problem, you didn't use a template, each one with your own idea. Maybe you cannot solve it, you just check some tutorials and you copy and paste. For each of the problem, you took 1 hour, and for solving 100 digit dp problem, you need 100 hours. And even after that, you didn't understand the problem actually. If you are finding a new problem, new digit dp problem, you still cannot solve it. You still need to check the tutorials. Yeah, so the template idea is that for any kind of digit dp problem, you just need to check one problem, maybe one problem, and for this one problem, you need 2 hours because you still need to understand the template and you need to grasp how to write the template to solve the problem. And then for other 99 problems, you don't need to check the tutorial. You can solve it by your own. Maybe it's just 5 or 10 minutes you can solve the problem directly using the template. And after solving those 99 digit dp problems, you already grasp the template. You already know how to use this template to solve some new digit dp problem. Yeah. So this is the idea of a template, because it gives you a pattern of how to solve this kind of hard problem, because this problem is really hard. That is why we prepare template. If this is an easy problem, why should we prepare a template? Because we can write it directly. Yeah, so by solving like 20 or 30 digit dp problem, definitely you already know why we need this kind of template and why we can use it to solve a lot of difficult or hard problems. Yeah. Now let's just directly use the template to solve the problem. So I'm gonna write it from scratch. Yeah. So instead of using like many template, you know, for each digit dp problem we use a new template. We only need to use one template, and we're gonna use this one template to solve all the digit dp problems. Yeah. So I'm gonna define like s1 and s2 as the string. So s1 gonna be the number 1, and s2 gonna be number 2, and I also need a modular. It's gonna be 10 to the power of 9 plus 7. And then I'm gonna define the function. I need to use a class, and I'm gonna define a dfs function. So here I'm gonna write a f, because f is just one letter. It is just a function. So the basic pattern, I'm gonna use the index, because for here I don't need to use a mask. I just need to check the total sum of the digit. So instead of using the mask, I'm gonna use a total, and then still I'm gonna use its limit and its num. So this is the basic pattern. Yeah. But for the final return, I want to return something like f with a 0 index, and the total gonna be 0, and its limit gonna be true, and its num gonna be false. Yeah, I'm gonna call the function, and I'm gonna put this s2 inside it, and then minus another function. I'm gonna use the string s1. Even though I write a little bit more code, but this is really easy to understand. Otherwise, we have to use a 2 or 3 template. We just need to use one template. That is enough. So we're gonna use one simple template. So here, I'm gonna pass the s2 inside, and for this one, I'm gonna pass the s1 inside. So this means I'm gonna check all the numbers which is less than equal to 12 minus all the numbers which is less than number 1, less than this one. So it's gonna, but for our template, it's gonna be less than or equal to this number. So here I'm gonna choose a 0 instead of a 1. So here I need to change a little bit. So first of all, I'm gonna turn this number 1 to integer, and then I want to minus 1, and after that I want to turn it to a string. Yeah, so this is exactly what I'm doing for this s1. Because for this minimum num and maximum num, it's going to be more than or equal to 1, less than or equal to 400, and num1 and num2 going to be more than or equal to 1. It means there's no 0. So for my string to integer to string transformation, that is okay, because it is always more than or equal to 1. Yeah. So this is why I'm going to set it like this. So after this one minus 1 modulo the mod, it's going to be the final answer. Yeah. Now what left behind is that I just need to finish writing the template. So the condition is that if so here I need to pass a string s. It can be s1, or it can be s2, or it can be s1. So if I equal to length of the string, I need to check if its num is true. I need to return the total. If this total is less than or equal to the mean sum, and more than or equal to the mean sum, and less than or equal to the max sum. Yeah. But if it is not, I'm gonna return 0. So if its num is true, this means it is a number. Definitely it is a number. But I still need to check the total. If the total is in between, I'm gonna count it as 1. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm gonna count it as 0. So this means if it is true, I'm gonna count it as 1. Yeah. So the final result of this one gonna be a Boolean value. Yeah, but even I do not turn it into a 1, it's gonna be a 1. Yeah. So here I will not turn it into a 1, but I can save it to later. Maybe I put an integer inside. Yeah, but I don't need it. Let's just do it like this. Yeah. Now, what do we need to do? Let's just set a result for the function. Now, if not its num, if this is not a number, so for our template, it's going to be result going to equal to f I plus 1 and the total. And what about the its limit? So its limit going to be false, and its number going to be false as well. So this is for not select a digit, Yeah, but what if we want to select a digit? We're gonna set a low and high. It is dependent on this its limit. So the low gonna be equal to 0 if it's num, else it's gonna be a 1. And for the high, it's gonna be the integer of si if its limit, else it's gonna be 9. Now we need to check all the different cases. So for D range from low to high, plus 1. The result gonna plus equal to fi plus 1. And here gonna yeah, and here for this total we need to be careful about it. Yeah, because this total is just to check the total number of the digit sum. Yeah. So we need to use the total. The total gonna be starting from 0, and yeah, we just need to plus the digits, right? Because for each of the digits we need to plus it. Yeah, the total gonna plus. Yeah, here we still need to consider, is this okay? What about the time complexity for this total? Yeah, because this total can be a really big number. It may be something like this. Yeah, definitely it's going to be less than 10 to the power of, I don't know. Yeah, it depended on the countries. 10 to the power of 22, maybe. Yeah, but here, this min sum and max sum is just 400. So this means the total gonna be 400. So the 400 times 10, it is okay. So the time complexity gonna be 4000. That is why. Yeah, because if this max sum is really big, definitely it didn't work. Yeah, this means the total is okay. So its limit and the digit gonna equal to high. Yeah, and the last one for this is num gonna be true because we choose a number. Because for here, this means we're gonna select a digit. Yeah, finally, we need to return the result. Yeah, as you can see, it's a lot of coding, but why we can write it directly instead of remember something? Because this is the power of the template. It can really be used to solve a lot of hard problems. Yeah. I'm not sure if it works, but let me just check it. So this is S1 is S2. It is a string. This is the mod. Here is for second, not select a digit. Here is for second. If I were to select a digit, and the total gonna plus this d, and d equals to high, and this gonna be true, and here gonna be the final result. Yeah, let me just run it and to check if it works. Yeah, here it seems it didn't work. What is wrong? nums2 is not defined because it is a num2, not a nums2. Yeah. Okay, let me just run it. Here is something missing. I needed to use a string s. Yeah, maybe also from here. I forget about it. Sorry about it. Let me just run it. Yeah, as you can see, it works. Now let me just submit it. Yeah, now as you can see, it works and it passed for all testing cases. And the time complexity, as I explained earlier, it depended on this total and I. The maximum of the total is just 400 because that is inside the countries. If you check it from here, it is just 400, and this I, it is the length of the string, and 10 to the power of 22. It is just 22 times 400. Yeah, that is why it's really fast. Basically, it is less than 10 to the power of 4. That is why we can pass for Leetcode. Yeah. So this problem is not just about solving a Leetcode problem. It's about what kind of method we're going to use to solve hard problems. And here is the template. And basically, for understanding the template, it is not just about one question. Definitely, you need to understand the template by a lot of Leetcode problems, a lot of DP problems, and you need to understand what is the meaning of each of the variables inside the function. So this is a memorization, DFS with memorization. And for this I, it is the index of the string. This total is just the sum up of the total values. And this total can be different. It can be the count, it can be the mask, or it can be others. It depends on what is the return for the questions. What is the requirement of the functions? Maybe sometimes you just need to count the number of ones, and maybe sometimes for this problem you just need to check the total sum of the digit of each number, or maybe sometimes you need to find the unique numbers of each digit. Maybe it cannot be duplicated like 1 1. It has to be 1 2 unique digit. It can be a mask, or it can be a count, or it can be a total. But after that, this is limit, and it's not gonna always be the same. Yeah, this is limit is just a border for each of the numbers. So for example, we are going to check all the numbers less than or equal to 12. It means for this digit, it must be less than or equal to 1, and for this digit, it must be less than or equal to 2. Yeah, and its num is just to check the previous number. So Because this is a 2-digit number 12, so for the previous one, it can be empty, nothing, and then from 0 to 9. It is possible, or it can be a 1, and after that it can be 0, 1, and 2. So this is its num. It checks the previous state of the number. If it has a number, then its num is true. If it has no number, it is empty, then its num is false. Yeah. I think that's all about it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.